Thank you, Mr Chairman. £145 million cuts from West Midlands Police budget since 2010, a truly staggering level of cut for a police force to absorb. To set this in context, that money could have paid the salary of 750 police constables over the last 8 years. 750 police officers that could have been patrolling our streets, tackling crime and antisocial behaviour. Since the Conservative government came to power in 2010, West Midlands Police have lost 2,000 officers, taking numbers down to their lowest level since 1974, the year the force was established. The demands on our officers, however, have not fallen in a similar fashion and have, if anything, increased, with emerging issues such as cybercrime and the persistent threat of terrorism adding to the force's already heavy workload. The constant pressure being exacted by the Conservative government's never-ending diktat to do more with less is taking its toll on our overstretched and under-resourced officers. On one day last summer, a check of the force sickness system revealed that a total of 612 officers and staff were booked off sick, with 176 suffering mental health conditions such as anxiety, depression, fatigue and stress. Given that West Midlands Police now requires an additional £22 million to simply stand still, the Chief Constable is now left with two choices, each as unpalatable as the other: further reduce manpower or close police stations. Let me be clear. Despite efforts to blame the Chief Constable and the Police and Crime Commissioner for making these difficult decisions, these cuts have been inflicted upon our constituents clearly and unambiguously as a result of the Conservative government's ideological austerity programme. As a result of these cuts, the Chief Constable has proposed releasing 24 buildings which will save £5 million a year, enough to protect the jobs of 100 police officers. Whilst I accept that the majority of the buildings to be closed are not open to the public, their closure will still have a detrimental impact on officers who will have to travel further to use essential services, wasting valuable police time. We cannot ignore away, however, the fact that the police grant settlement confirmed real-term cuts, including a £12.5 million reduction in spending power for West Midlands Police. The Police and Crime Commissioner David Jameson recently summed up the situation rather succinctly. He said, "West Midlands Police has suffered the biggest cuts in the country, and now government MPs who voted for those cuts recently are complaining about the consequences in their constituencies. It seems the irony is indeed lost on some." The government has, of course, argued that council tax can be increased by the PCC by up to £12 for a bandy property, a measure which has been adopted by all but 3 PCCs. Despite this, West Midlands Police still has the lowest increase per head of population in the country, further damaging the force's ability to carry out its full range of duties. It has also been claimed that back office costs have risen by £10 million, but when one looks a little deeper, one sees that these so-called back office costs include nationally mandated pay increase, the hiring of specialist staff to allow police officers to carry out warranted duties, such as arresting criminals, and the hiring of call handlers to deal with the surge in demand faced by the police force. The issues being discussed here today are, of course, only a snapshot of the systemic and unprecedented pressures facing our police service. Police officers exude many of the most admirable characteristics of our society: brave, caring and committed. They do their duty so as to allow us to go about our daily lives safe in the knowledge that we need and we and our families are safe. I will.
Recently, for example, in the Willenhall area in Coventry, there have been a number of public meetings where the public have voiced concern about the increase in drugs, burglaries and so forth. As a result of that, the police have now looked at the possibilities of using surge tactics in those areas. Now that demonstrates that under policing in Coventry, I think we've lost something like between 200 and 300 officers. Now that gives you an idea. The public now are becoming aware and becoming uneasy about this police situation and the crime situation in West Midlands and Staten and Coventry.
I thank my honourable friend for that intervention, and I absolutely agree with what he said. Police officers join the force because they want to make a difference and they want to serve their communities and they want to help people. And we accept their service gratefully. But in so doing, we also accept a responsibility to offer them that same protection and support which they provide us. Policing cannot be done on the cheap. The safety of our families is worth too much. That is why I will continue to stand up for my local police force and for my constituents by continuing to oppose the government's damaging and dangerous cuts. Thank you.